Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to network like a boss. Now, what do I mean by network like a boss? If you're watching this video, you're probably in your job search and things aren't working out for you when it comes to networking. You might be new to networking, you might have done it for a while, but things aren't really working. So I'm going to demystify a couple of things, give you practical steps. This video is sponsored by my own program, How to Job Plus, where I work with people one-on-one and we customize their networking strategy. So I'm going to take some points from that, not all of them, but if you do need some help during this video, I'm going to drop a couple of hints of how we can work together. But anyway, I digress. So what does it mean to interview like a boss or network like a boss? Interview like a boss is going to come later. But networking like a boss, you need to have, I would say, 4 to 5 meetings a week with people who have decision-making ability. These people are going to be busy. These people are going to be able to help you if they like you, if they feel that you're going to be the right fit for their company. They can very easily recommend you. You get an interview, you have an easier interview, you get an offer. So that is the power of networking if you're dealing with the right people. Now, if you're networking and you're not getting these meetings, there might be quite a few different bottlenecks that we're going to eliminate in this video, and I will be able to tell you how to improve that networking strategy. Right, let's start with the beginning. So networking does not mean you're going to send an amazing message in an email message or an email or an ad note on LinkedIn and then magically get an interview. It's not how it works. If it did, you probably wouldn't need to watch this video. How it works is you need to look at it as stages. When you connect to someone on LinkedIn, in some cases, you're using an in-mail message, which I'm not a fan of. In-mail messages allow you to send a really large message. There's no restriction of character counts. You don't have to connect with someone to send it. You just send it, and you've got 5 of those a month. Limits your outreach to just 5 people. Networking is a numbers game. In-mail messages reduces the numbers unless you get LinkedIn Premium or a form of LinkedIn that you have to pay for. We do not need LinkedIn Premium for this video, by the way, and in-mail messages are not what I'm going to be recommending. You can use them, but not for this. Add notes. When you attempt to connect to someone on LinkedIn, if you use your phone, it doesn't work. I don't know why. But if you use your desktop, your computer, you can connect to someone. It pops up with a screen that says add note. And in that note, you have a 300 character limit as a message. Now, you've got 2 options now. You can use ChatGPT, create the best message on the planet, which ChatGPT can definitely help you with, but you might not get an acceptance. The whole point of sending an ad note is to send a message that gets an acceptance. It could be as simple as a one-liner, something simple, shows that you're easy to deal with. And the whole process of sending that message is to get an acceptance. Now, that's your first bottleneck. You might be overdoing this when you start networking. A lot of people reach out to me and they say, Milo, I've tried to do networking. It doesn't work for me. And then I quickly dig into what they're sending. And then I realize that their ad notes are overkill. It's something like, hi name, I'm amazing, I'm really passionate, this is an industry I want to work in, this is my experience, blah, blah, blah. The person you're sending that to is so busy, they're getting 500 messages a day. They do not need someone else telling them how amazing or hardworking they are. They would hope you're hardworking. But that ad note does not do that in terms of you sending that message to just get an acceptance, but overkilling the message. It could be as simple as, hi name, I can see you're the hiring manager, would be great to connect. Now, the reason you want to do that, and I use this analogy with my students, if you're knocking on someone's door, you would knock normally, like knock, knock, right? You wouldn't use a baseball bat to hit the door and hope that they're going to open it. They're probably going to be scared. So the analogy I'm using here is for the message you send. If you send an overkill message like, hey, I'm amazing, I'm hardworking, want to work in this industry, you're probably not going to get accepted. Then there's no response. People are going to think, oh, this person just wants a job, even though you do, but you want to come across in a different way. So you need to be a little bit more elegant with your approach. So an ad note is designed to get you a connection. Now, what happens once you get a connection? Now the networking starts to begin. It hasn't begun yet. You're setting the stage. They've accepted. You've sent a simple message. They've come back to you. They might respond, but in most cases, they're going to accept to see what you send next, which is a step 2 message. Now, the step 2 message needs to provide context. If your context is now, hi, I'm hardworking, they're going to tell you, or even they probably won't reply because they're getting a lot of these messages anyway, but they're going to want to find out what's the real reason you've connected. So the more genuine, the more out of the box thinking you have for sending that step two message, the better it will be. People will then respond to you. If you ask an intelligent question, you will get a reply. It doesn't have to be, hey, are you hiring? Most companies are, even if they don't appear to be. And I've got another video coming out called The Unlisted Job Market, which is hidden jobs. I'll go into more detail about that. So every company is most likely hiring at one stage. If they're not hiring today, they're probably going to be hiring in a week's time or 2 weeks' time. So you want to be there for that. So cultivating that connection is how you need to think about this. Okay, so where are we? Step two, you're sending the message, you're asking a question. You're providing some context, but not too much context so it doesn't sound like, hey, I'm looking for a job, help. You could ask something about soft skills. When your company hires entry-level graduates or entry-level project managers or entry-level architects, what is the soft skill that's the most sought after? Simple question, nice and easy. It's easy to answer. You will most likely get a response. Not always, because networking is a numbers game. But we're on step two, where you get an acceptance from the ad note, you send the step two message for context, and then you get a reply. Now, that reply could be an answer to your question. Now you can start networking. You're in there. You've got a connection. You've got engagement. You've shown that you're not just an average job seeker by asking the whole, hey, can I get a job question or any jobs going? You're actually asking an intelligent question that makes you more unique. It's curious for them to find out why you're asking that question. Now, how you reply to their reply is how networking works. This is the actual starting point of networking. Anybody can send an amazing ad note. Anybody can send a good step two. How you respond to their response is how networking goes. Okay. So if they give you an answer to your question, and it could be a whole host of different things. They answer your question in a very simple way. This is the soft skill we look for. These are the company culture fits that we analyze when we're hiring people. These are the projects we might be working on. This is how our company hires. This is the future plan of our project. Anything could happen. Some companies will over deliver and overshare. Other people will just kind of give you a little bit of advice. And that's fine. There's no right or wrong answer here. The main thing is that there's traction, that conversations are happening. Networking is about contact. So you want it to be a contact sport. You're sending messages, you're getting replies, you're replying back to the replies. But how you reply to that reply is how you get a meeting, a recommendation, or a form of intel. And on our program, we call this the Trident method, which is 3 points. So you get a meeting, you get a recommendation or referral, or you get a piece of intel that you can use for another message to somebody else. So let me give you a quick sneak on how that works. Sneak peek. So you ask for a meeting in your reply. So they give you an answer to your step two message, which is a question. You then say, great, I appreciate you sharing that. Would you be open for a 5-minute conversation? Now, this can be more customized. This is why people join our program, to customize this process. But just along the lines, this is how it works. You send a message with a question asking for 5 minutes of their time. Some people will give you 5 minutes. If so, you have a meeting with someone to then showcase why you are the right fit. If they say, I don't have time, you can then go into finding out who they could recommend that you reach out to that may have time. Okay. So that's the Trident. If they say, I don't know anybody, you can say, look, before I let you go, if you had to give me some advice to get into this company or this role, what would it be? Now, you've got 3 options there, 3 different things that can happen. This is the Trident method. Now, there's a lot of stuff that comes before this, but I'm giving you like a skeleton version of all of this. If they reply to any of those 3 points, are you further along your networking journey in comparison to sending hi, any jobs? I think yes. And I think that's really, really important to know, because you're failing before you begin. And in this case, you're actually getting a response that can lead to 3 different scenarios that can actually help you. If they give you 5 minutes of their time, you could ask questions like, at the end of that meeting, can you help me make a formal application that results in an interview? If they say yes, you have an interview. If they say no, you then ask who they could recommend you to reach out to get a meeting. If they say they can't, then you can ask, get some intel, and then you can generate more and better messages to other people. The more intel you get, the more researched you are or appear to be, the better your networking will be, the more you can customize this. Now, that's a very basic concept of networking properly. Where you will get the benefit of actually customizing this is sending better ad note messages more contextual step 2 messages, and defined reply step 3 messages, which will get you more meetings, recommendation, and pieces of intel that you can use. Now, the more you get that, the more you can structure your job search strategy that makes you better than everybody else. Because your competition right now, people are very lazy. If you're watching this video and you want to network better, kudos to you. Because a lot of people are TikTok brains, they doom scroll, they put a little bit of info on their application, they kind of make 5 applications a day, they take 2 days off, they try to network, they send a basic email message, hi, I'm really passionate, yep, can I have a meeting or a offer please, yeah, any jobs. That's your competition. Those are the people you're competing against. So you cannot lose if you network. Now, naturally, you have to network better. You have to see what works, what you can improve on, and that's great. But if you're doing this, you're doing more than 92% of people. They say 92% of people just apply, 8% actually try. Be in the 8%. Try, push, speak to people, ask questions. Do not, worry about failing. Best case scenario, you get a reply and someone recommends you. Worst case scenario, they ignore you. Who cares? As long as you're being polite, as long as you're not, getting banned on LinkedIn and not sending any bad messages, you're fine. But if you're asking, if you're trying, people will respect it. So networking like a boss is really just understanding the scope of what you need to do. People don't know about ad notes. They don't use it. They overkill on their messages and they don't have a structure. So as long as you have a structure, as long as you know that there's a style to this, excuse me, there's a style to this, you're going to have more of a strategy to know that, okay, I can at least get a reply by following this, strategy here. And again, very, very basic stuff. To make it better, to make it more customized, reach out to me. I'm going to leave a link in the description. You and I can work together. Okay. So if you need to get into a role in a specific amount of time, I need to know if I can help you first. And I need to then be able to customize this strategy. I can tell you what ad notes to send. I can tell you what step 2 questions to ask. I can tell you how to reply to the answers you get. I can help you with the resume, CV, your cover letter, your LinkedIn optimization. I can quite literally map out your job search strategy where you're just following a plan, where all of this is demystified. Super custom to you, gets you into roles in lightning speed. Reach out to me in the link in the description. And also, if you don't reach out and you don't need that help, no problem. If you like and subscribe, costs you nothing, means the world to me. Even if you dislike it. If you don't like what I'm saying, challenge me in the comments. I want to hear from you. So thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.